Welcome to Monkey Talk, brought to you by
The Bald Monkeys Wrestling Podcast.
We're back live. As you can see, we got a new guest. We weren't done with one. We got two. We are very happy to welcome to the Bald Monkeys podcast another great talent that's going to be wrestling tomorrow for Friday the 13th and Friday night fights in Tyrone, Georgia for Action Wrestling. We got Adam Priest. Adam, thank you for joining us tonight.
Thanks for having me on, guys.
We really appreciate it. Just to let everybody know, Adam is in a area that has really crappy service, and just so he could talk to us and you, he drove a little bit away just to get on with us tonight. So we appreciate that.
Yeah, that makes the fee go up. I didn't tell y'all that beforehand.
Okay.
Thank the Lord we got that hype train before. We can now pay Adam for this.
That's right.
I'll have to get the check in the mail on that one. All right.
You're going to see him tomorrow.
Don't tell him that.
You can pay that.
Yeah,
what do you mean don't tell him that? He's going to see you there.
On two envelopes. Two envelopes tomorrow.
Well, thank you for joining us tonight, Adam. We really appreciate it. I know Chris is looking forward to being live at the show tomorrow. Unfortunately, I have to wait to watch it on iwtv when it goes live. I think next week Friday Night Fights is going to be Friday. Yeah. So if you guys are listening and watching, it's going to go live next Friday, the 20th. But we want to know where you started off. And we're not talking about how you started in wrestling right now. We're talking about what was young Adam Priest like.
I don't remember ever not knowing wrestling. I know that. I don't have like everybody has the like watching Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels story, they always seen, there was one match or something that they watched. It was the first ever thing. I never remember not knowing wrestling. So I don't have one particular match that got me into it. My family's always been into it. My aunt, my uncle, my mom and dad had been in and out of it for a long time. So I just never remember not being in it. Early on, which I'm kind of young, so I don't want to make y'all feel old, but like my early.
What, do I look old? I mean, damn.
No.
I just said
look old. But
just kidding.
But every time I say this, everybody's like, "Oh God!" Like my memory picks up like 01, 02. The 19 WrestleMania 19 stuff like that, 18, 19. So that's where I start picking up memory, and so I just never remember not being into wrestling. It's always been kind of a part of, my daily life and stuff like that.
Nice. Did you, being 2000, 2001 era, was there, somebody that kind of stood out to you, that you were a fan of, when as a kid?
Yeah. I don't know if y'all were going to touch on this later. I think there was something you had mentioned about it later, but yeah, some of the first guys I remember, and there's certain, you notice with kids, they go to certain kind of characters and certain wrestlers at a younger age, and it might not be who they really like later on. Mm-hmm. And that was kind of me. My first wrestler, like RVD was my guy growing up, and I wrestled nothing like him at all. So like RVD and Kane and that was my favorite tag team. So like when they were going right before the mask got taken off and the whole thing, that's where I was like real hot in it. So RVD was my guy growing up. But then when I really started, getting into it and paying attention to the work and stuff, I really gravitated towards, the Eddies and the Benoits and that whole style. So that's really what that '01, that 2000, some of that late WCW to the '04, '05 is really my favorite style and all that.
Nice. Now Chris.
I was going to say, fun fact about that. I was there when Kane took off his mask at Madison Square Garden.
I rewatched that the other night. I don't know if it was going around on Twitter or what it was, but when he does the unmask and RVD's sitting there in the ring and everything, yeah. And as a kid, you're like, oh, he looks so ugly and he's deformed. But then come to find out, it's just black paint on his face.
Black paint, and they just kind of shaved his head weird, where it was like, here's a weird haircut.
Yeah. But here's the deal: that's dedication. Kane talks about that. He shaved his head halfway, looking like freaking mentally handicapped for how many years? He's the man, dude.
He is. I'm a big Undertaker fan, and of course, like Kane just rolls right into the whole Undertaker story. I got my Undertaker shirt on, but now you mentioned, Eddie and those kind of guys from, the late WCW days. Were those the guys that you looked at and said, hey, I think I can get in the ring and I can do, what they do?
Yeah. I think, early on, which I've always been a smaller guy, whether it was in sports and high school and stuff, I've always been smaller. And you start kind of doing the math in your head. You're like, all right, you never thought about being a wrestler, but I knew at early age, like, I can't do what Kane and Undertaker can do. So you automatically, as a kid, you start relating to things. That's why kids relate so big to like Mysterio and certain guys like that, I feel like, because whether they're short or whatever, they relate to the smaller guy and the acrobatic moves. And I think that's really what kids gravitate towards. So, yeah, I kind of picked that up at an early age. And the Eddie and Benoit's, like, I knew they were shorter guys. And I guess, I don't know, wrestling with your brother, wrestling with your dad, you're the shorter guy. So you're like, well, I got to do some of the stuff that, Van Damme does or Eddie does or, whoever else. So, yeah, it definitely had something to do with it. And then the deeper you get in it, you start to understand why things are done a certain way and why those guys did work that way. And, they were short, but they also weighed the same as the other guys. They just got wider. And you start to realize in real life, like, the biggest, tallest guys aren't the baddest ass guys, It's really a lot of other, there's the famous story with Eddie and Batista about that Bruce Pritchard tells, like, oh, you mean that little guy was the world heavyweight champion? And the other guy goes, yeah, but in real life, that little guy would kill that big guy. There's those stories. So I think that relates a lot.
Yeah.
So you got into some of these wrestlers, you had some inspiration. How did you start actually becoming a wrestler? How did you start training? Where did that start?
That's a funny question. Somebody asked me the other night who trained me, and I don't really have an answer to that. I'll probably, if I have to say that answer now, I would just go ahead and say QT has spent the most time with me now that I've been going a little bit of the Nightmare Factory, which that's also me being 4 years in too. So early on, my aunt and my uncle used to go to a place called ACW in Boaz, Alabama. It was, yeah. And if anybody's listening to this from Alabama, they know exactly what I'm talking about. My first bump, that's where I took my first bumps and I had my first few shows. Now, it was a rough place, man. It was, the bleacher creature smoking in the corner and, 100 running. I mean, it was as backyard gets almost, but without being backyard. So I trained there for a while, but I really wouldn't call it training because it was just all the young guys teaching the young guys how to bump when they don't really know what they're doing either. So bumping and learning things, which I felt like I wasn't stupid. I kind of had a grasp as to what was going on, and I was half-ass athletic, I feel like. So I kind of caught on quick a little bit on certain things. And I did a few shows there. Then I moved to a place called GCW, worked more in central Alabama. Dan Sawyer, Mad Dog Dan Sawyer worked there. he's done years of like extra talent work for WWE and some other places. I spent about 10 weeks with him, trained with him some, and that's kind of when I got connected to a lot of the Southern guys. Like, that's where I started there. That was Logan Creed was wrestling there, Francisco Ciazzo. Now guys on the independents like Donnie Janela, Cabana Man Dan. A lot of those guys were working there at that time. So that's how I got all those connections. And then that got me into Georgia, which got me into Mississippi, which got me into Tennessee. And now here I am. So, but the main guy, like the person that spent the most time with me, I've learned a lot from guys like Cabana Man Dan and I don't want to admit it, but like Donnie Janela, some of those guys. And but QT Marshall's spent some time with me too. So I don't want to say self-trained, but it's been just a lot of people helping me and giving me advice and seminars and stuff. So
Yeah,
it's really tough down here to find one guy to trust and to be with. You really gotta – independent wrestling's really tough, man. You got to really bet on yourself and to kind of teach yourself a lot of times. So trial and error.
It makes sense,
Yeah.
and there's no one way of doing independent
No,
wrestling or
no.
becoming a professional
No.
wrestler. And your way, it works just as best as anybody's, where it's
Yep.
picking the good from everybody you can and absorbing that and turning it into your own. So it makes
Yep.
a lot of sense.
Yeah. I know that was a long-winded answer, but that's why I said I never have an answer for it, because it's a bunch of different people help. Certain seminars really help me. Certain people really help me. So it's just one of those. You got to learn to mess up. You learn from your mistakes, so.
Sure. So here we are, like you said, and tomorrow is the Action Wrestling event. What do you have to look forward to tomorrow? What's your mentality going into tomorrow night?
Well, as of late, I've been doing a lot of brawling and a lot of just banging heads and stuff. And tomorrow I'm actually going to have to wrestle Fred. So we'll see how technically sound I am. So I've been trying to get my cardio up, and we'll see how my amateur wrestling can do tomorrow. I guess we'll see. But I guess I'll have to do whatever I have to win against him. So he's the man. So we'll see how it goes.
But you've been on a bit of a run. So, I mean, is it fair to say that he should be getting prepared for you, because you've been at the top of the card and dealing with, some big matches over the last few months?
I don't think Fred would like to hear that, but I've had some good luck here lately and some good momentum. I wouldn't call it, I wouldn't say I have more experience or anything than Fred, or that I'm better or not, but I think people are starting to figure out I'm not just some jack off that on some other independent shows. So I've had a chance to show different styles, what I can do with guys like Blake Christian, or whether it's that match or brawling, and that I might not do it a lot, but I can do different things. So it'll be a good test for me, and I'm undefeated there. So we'll see how it goes. I don't plan on just laying down and letting him run all over me. So
Looking forward to it.
Yeah.
I'm very jealous, as I will not be at the show tomorrow, and I keep telling Christopher how lucky he is to be able to be so close and be able to go. And I hate you for it. Just a little bit, Christopher.
Hate you
But-
too.
I know. So you've been around for a little while. What's the motivation? What motivation do you have to kind of keep pushing, keep going forward, keep learning from everybody that you've been in the ring with, people that you come in contact with? What's your motivation?
Just in general, if I could be broad and not just very specific, a lot of people don't get to do what they want to really do in their life, as far as like a career or have chances to do certain things. Everybody wants to be a ball player, everybody wants to be a star, or everybody wants to be this or that, and a lot of people don't have a chance. Well, I've always really wanted to be just a pro wrestler and put on and just be the best that I can. And a lot of people just dread doing a 9 to 5 and going home, and they just I'm not going to spend my life being miserable working out a plan or going to working 12-hour shifts or any of that. I'm a pro wrestler. Say what you want about pro wrestling, but that's what I am, and that's what I enjoy. I think it's such a beautiful thing. I think wrestling's life. I think matches, storylines, whether you want to call it male soap opera or whatever you want to call it. I think when wrestling's at its greatest, it's one of the most beautiful things there is. It can get people involved in many different ways. And I seen how it affected me as a kid and how much fun I had with me and my family. And the connections I made with people with wrestling. And I just want to keep that going and contribute to that. And I'm just very passionate about it. I mean, I've had some things not work out in my life, and wrestling don't owe you anything, you know. The weight room don't owe you anything. That's going to be the same all the time. Wrestling's going to be, the ring's going to be the same, you know. The weight room's going to be the same. All the other shit might change, but, you know, wrestling don't owe you anything, you know. So I just try to give back to everything wrestling's given to me and just make the best of it. So, and to make family proud and make friends proud and just make something of myself and not just be some Joe Blow going to his job every day. So,
yeah. Well, I mean,
if that answers your question, I don't know if that answers it or not.
No, it does. It does. And I mean, you talk about making people proud, and, you know, you've done some stuff with some of the larger companies, you know, the more name promotions. You know, if anybody has been watching, you know, AEW for a little while, we saw you pop up there. You popped up in NXT a little while ago. What's your future plan? What's the dream? What's the goal? You know, where do you want to take your career?
I definitely think, as you said about the dark thing, without, you know, just spilling all my beans. I mean, I definitely enjoy being in Jacksonville right now. I enjoy being there, and I want to be there as much as possible. I think that I said this the other night on an interview, I think they really treat their extra talent well, and I think that it's extremely important that there's more than one dog in the fight and there's not just one big company running everything, because it just creates more jobs. It makes wrestling, you know, at its highest, there were 2 or 3 big dogs going at it at the same time. And nothing's worse than when one country or one whatever rules the world, you know, then you've only got a certain ceiling that you can't bust through. And I think getting off people like me or anybody else, guys, women, whatever, AEW really gives people opportunities to they're going to find the talent there, and if you don't cut it, you're not going to be there. Just as, you know, not saying other companies don't, but I feel like certain companies have certain ways of doing things, and I feel like, and I've been to both, and I know that AEW knows how to figure things out. They do things the right way. That doesn't mean I'm not open to going other places, but I just really am appreciative of what they've done with me, and I plan on being there if they want me, and I'll just keep on grinding on the independents and just keep getting better and keep working. It's been a little busy the last few weeks, so I'm fortunate for that, but I really am proud of what I'm doing now and happy that I'm getting these opportunities. So I'll keep going to Jacksonville as long as they want me, and we'll see where that takes me. So.
Nice. Well, of course, I mean, you know, we say good luck. The tag match from the other night was spectacular. It was such a good. Chris, I don't know if you watched it, but I watched it on Tuesday. Sorry, it's Thursday. I don't even know what freaking day it is. I mean,
Me either.
Well, I mean, it was a great match against, you know, the hybrid. If anybody hasn't seen it, go watch it on YouTube. You really get to. It seemed like you got to do a little bit more in that match than, you know, your first match you had with them. Was it nice to be able to showcase what your talents are a little bit more in that tag match?
Yeah. let me see how to word that. Everybody's got to do what they got to do, and people's got another place, and I know my place right now, and I'm just kind of happy with what I get and the opportunities I get. And if I get the hot tag and can come in and bust some people up, then, you know, that's what I get, and I'm going to make the best of it. If you get a back elbow and that's all you get in a match, well, then you better make it the best back elbow you can do, you know. So that's what I just try to tell myself. And no matter, I wouldn't say what they give me or anything. It's just whatever I can take, I'll take. And I just look for just more opportunities from it, you know. I did enjoy the match the other night. Well, I mean, we didn't end up on top, but I'm still a little sore from it, from that 450 to the floor. But other than that, it was good. I like my boy Sean Dean. He's got a lot of talent too, and he's there very often. So hopefully we can tag again with each other.
Well said. Well said. So outside of the ring, we talked about you growing up. We talked about you now. We talked about your future. Outside of the ring, what are you doing? You know, you're not wrestling. We're not even going to say you're working out. What are your hobbies? What are you doing for fun?
Well, I got my dog. I'm a big dog guy. So I'm not home a lot right now. So when I'm home, I try to, you know, hang out with him, hang out with the girlfriend. Well, we can't do a whole lot right now. So
that is true.
People think Alabama's wide open, but, you know, it's not as wide open as everybody thinks. Sorry about that. But, I mean, just when I'm home, I try to stay home. Go to some comedy shows and stuff like that. My girlfriend does comedy, so I go and do all that stuff, and just try to keep my mask on and not get the COVID. So, but right now, I try to stay home because I'm never home a lot. So just chill with the dog and you know, just stay out of trouble mainly right now. So nothing real interesting. I'm pretty boring. Like you said, I can't talk about the gym, so that's about it.
What kind of dog do you have?
I've got a Rottweiler. I've always grown up with big dogs. That's probably a surprise. Everybody's like, of course, that redneck has a Rottweiler. But no, I grew up with a big Rottweiler growing up. Like when I was a kid, I've got a scar on my eye from him. I think it's this right here. I grew up with that Rottweiler. I've had boxers, pit bulls, so I've always loved bigger dogs. So I had a daughter, and I wanted her to grow up with a Rottweiler, so I got one, and he's more loyal than she is sometimes. So
I have a very odd mix of a dog. She's part pointer, part basset hound, and part pit bull.
Oh man, that's how'd that happen?
I have no idea. We rescued her from a shelter in North Carolina, and she can be quirky. I mean, just as any dog can be, but man, does this dog love me. I mean, she's short to the ground, has got short legs, but her face is pit bull and her shoulders are all pit bull.
Really? That's funny. Man, my Rottweiler, he's the biggest baby. I mean, I got him to be a guard dog, and I walked in the house earlier, and he wouldn't wake up when I was yelling at him. So he's as laid back as it gets, pretty much. So I got to get another dog.
So we appreciate you driving up the road to get some connection. So let's talk about traveling. Let's talk about moving around. I mean, you're traveling to Jacksonville. You're traveling to Georgia. You're in Alabama. Do you have any fun traveling stories that you could share with us?
I was asked this question the other night, and I always feel boring because I don't have one. I mean, there's a few I could tell to probably get Donnie Janela canceled, but
we don't want anybody to get in trouble.
Yeah.
We always say the stories that you can tell us.
Yeah. A lot of the times I am solo. I mean, I'm sure I have. So I can't think of none right off the top of my head. I'm sorry to fail y'all on that. But like I said, me and Donnie Janela's had some funny conversations, and I've got some dirt on him if he ever crosses me. So that's about the only funny thing I can say. I can speak to all the miles I've traveled, but that's about it. Those are pretty laughable. But
Have you tracked the amount of miles you've actually
I haven't
traveled?
tracked them. I haven't tracked them, but the hours, in the last 2 weeks, I've went to Jacksonville twice, Georgia a few times, I think. And yeah, but that 8 hours down and back sucks, man. But yeah, I haven't tracked the miles. I'm sure it's up there. So I'll try to keep serviced up on this car a little bit, so I don't want to get stranded.
So while you're traveling, let's get into favorites and let's talk about some favorites. Do you have a favorite radio station or favorite type of music or favorite artist that you're listening to make those 8 hours pass?
Well, shocker. I mean, I'm big into road. I'm a big country guy, but not, I'm not listening to that stupid ass like Florida Georgia Line or any of that new stuff. I don't listen to that stuff, man. I'm a big Garth Brooks guy, George Strait, Travis Tritt. I always say
True country.
Travis Tritt. I say what?
True country.
Yeah. Like I always say, Travis Tritt makes you want to get married just to get divorced, just to sing his songs, So those guys, Chris Stapleton. So I just listen to a lot of that stuff on the road. But if I get a wild hair up my ass, I'll go from the other night. I went from Willie Nelson to like Cardi B and Meg Thee Stallion to something else. Yeah, like I go wide range, dude. So yeah, it's different, but mainly country. So
is there a guilty pleasure in there that people would be surprised about?
I can't admit that, but I will say
there is one. There is
It's
one.
there.
Yeah, I don't know about one. I mean, I'll just say I like Meg Thee Stallion. I think she's talented. I love her rap, so I sound like an idiot saying that, but I'll say my guilty pleasure is Meg Thee Stallion. That's as deep. That's as much as I'll give up. So.
Okay, all right. We won't push any harder.
Yeah, man. But yeah, I got a wide range, man. But mainly country because I've said a million times that I like a lot of those Garth Brooks songs are about rodeo and all that stuff, and there's nothing more similar than wrestling than like the rodeo, driving miles and miles, just for 8 seconds or 5 minutes or whatever, and your old lady's mad at you because you're not home. And she's probably cheating on you when you're gone, so all that stuff. So that's why I love country, man.
Have you been able to get out and actually see any of these artists live and in person?
Yeah, Garth Brooks it might have been Nashville. That big tour he had like about 4 years ago or so. Mm-hmm. I seen him. He was awesome, man. That was just the first tour when he come back because he was gone for what? Over 10 years. Yep. I mean, forever. And I'll tell you what, Kid Rock's probably the best concert I've ever been to. And people make fun of Kid Rock, but Kid Rock was the man, which I've seen him at Rock the South. That's a big concert they have up in Coleman, Alabama. Okay. They'll bring in a ton. I mean, it'll be 2 days of stars. I mean, it'll be every country star. I mean, Leonard Skinner will come, everybody. So, but Kid Rock was probably the best one I've seen there. So he was the man. I don't care what people say about him. That concert was awesome. So
he puts on a good show.
Fun fact, yeah, he does. My first ever concert, and okay. I would never go nowadays. My first ever concert was Jay-Z in Birmingham.
Wow.
Yeah, how weird is that?
Huh.
I was probably a sophomore in high school when I went, and I was outnumbered. I was the minority there. So, but I loved it. That was like the Watch the Throne album or something when that come out. So that was my first ever concert, but it's the only rap concert I've ever been to. So
random cool. Fact. No, it's good. We like random facts. See, we're pulling stuff out. You're letting loose a little bit. I see it. All right. So we talked about being on the road, and it's kind of tough to get on the road and find places to eat. Do you have a favorite place to eat on the road?
Yeah, it's tough to eat clean on the road. I'm a big Burger King guy, and I have that argument with everybody. I hate Waffle House. Anybody that says Waffle House is a good place to eat, they're a fucking liar.
Mhm.
It's the worst place on this planet. Yeah.
Yeah.
The only reason you go there is because it's 2 a.m. and you're drunk.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. And you
It's
pay
shit.
for it, and you'll
It's
pay
shit.
for it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's shit, and it's the worst service in the world. So why you even want to go there? It's ridiculous. I'll go without eating than eat there. But a lot of people, I guess there's this feud against Burger King, and I don't know what it is. A lot of guys hate it, and I don't know why. So I'd like to get some consensus on that. I don't know what the deal is.
Well,
But-
what's the go-to at Burger King? What's the order at Burger King?
Well, I'm a broke independent wrestler, so I'll get the 3 for $3 deal right now, which is the double cheeseburger, the fry, and the drink. But then I'll order another cheeseburger or a double cheeseburger and just put that meat on it. So, and keep the bread out because I'm watching my figure, right? So I'll just do one bun and just do double up the meat. So it makes myself feel better, you know? So
Okay.
that's it. So I'm spending not even $5 when people buy a Whopper and you're eating more meat doing it the way I get it, you know?
Mhm.
So I've been broke for many years, man. So I figured out some, my little ways of getting away with it. So
That's smart.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
I mean, if you're talking Burger King or McDonald's, I'm choosing Burger King.
Every
I
time.
agree.
mean, yeah, every time the burgers are way better.
yeah,
At
I'm
Burger
glad
King.
I'm glad we agree on this.
Yes.
Yes.
Wholeheartedly. And I love that they have onion rings. I'm an onion ring fan, so
I agree.
I always sub out the fries for onion rings.
That's a good move. Good move. I have switched to Diet Coke, so I will say that. I'm trying to switch to diet drinks. So I'll get the Diet Coke with it. So
I can't do it. I can't do the diet. Can't do it.
I
So-
understand. It's tough.
We got your favorite food. We got some music in there. Let's get back in the ring. What's been your favorite match so far? You've had a lot. You've had some good ones, and recently some really epic ones. But it doesn't have to be just because it's the biggest match you've had. What was your favorite match in your memory so far?
Well, everybody will I hate everything I do, so I'll just get that out of the way. I can pick apart every match. It's been about over a year ago. I enjoyed a match I did with Bailey Blake. I don't know if y'all know who that is.
Bailey Blake. Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah, he was King Bailey Blake at the time. No, he was doing the Tinder gimmick, the swiping left or right on. Yeah, I can't think what it's called. I'm sorry, Bailey. I'm sorry.
Swipe on Bailey.
But me and Bailey always have tough matches, and me and him's wrestling each other coming up at New South too. So it'll be another good one. We had a good one about a year ago that I really enjoyed. The Blake Christian one really tested me. I was happy with some things in that one. Let me think. That's probably the most recent one. Like I said, I hate everything I do, so I can't put anything over. But I'm trying to think of matches. I've had some fun ones at TWE in Chattanooga.
Okay.
There's been some real good matches there. The final that we had in the Future Showcase,
Oh yeah.
me, Nolan Edwards, and Sean Dean, I feel
Mhm.
like it was a good match. It was kind of my match to control a little bit, so I enjoyed it. Being I'm a dick there, so I enjoy being the only bad guy in the whole building because nobody wants to be the bad guy. So that was a pretty good one. I enjoyed that whole weekend. That was a busy weekend, so that was a pretty good one.
The bad guy has the most fun. I mean, that's just a
Agreed.
given, right?
It is, and yeah, and I'm a shoot bad guy in real life from what I get told on a daily basis. So I think it's pretty natural to me. So
You lean into it. Just lean into it.
yeah,
And I hate to correct you, but it wasn't a pretty good match. It was a damn good match.
well, thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, that was a
Nope.
heck of a weekend. I
Yeah.
got to see you wrestle on Friday against Classic. And then I got to see you also on Saturday through that tournament, and you had a great weekend.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate
well
it.
put together few matches. So
Thank you.
So one more favorite, and then I'll pass it back over. I got one that I ask some people sometimes, and you seem to be a guy that's a bit of a, you're wrestling. So what would be your favorite finishing move?
Can I do like a submission and like another move?
Please do.
Man.
Hard-hitting questions.
That is a good question. Because I was talking about finishing moves today with somebody, actually. I was talking to Kevin Ryan about that stuff today. Damn.
It's almost a lost art, I feel like, with some finishing moves. It's hard for folks to find that key move that's not just a regular move or looks like something different. And everyone's always searching.
Yeah, there's some that are timeless. And then there's some that can be brought back from the dead, if the right person gets it. The way I look, can I say this first? The way I look at finishers is, I don't want to be too inside baseball. If somebody really wanted to hurt you, and instead of just winning a match, if they really was putting it on you, it should be really effective. So I really believe in submissions and pile drivers and stuff like that, because I don't agree with, I've been putting you on your back all night and then I give you an attitude adjustment. And it's like, you've been doing that the whole night, So, I mean, you can't beat a pile driver, just any type of pile driver. I know that's kind of being overused some. You can pull the Uncle. It's a classic, or you can pull the Uncle Paul and just double underhook the arms and give a pedigree. That was always an over one.
Uncle Paul.
I want to know how many people get that. Man, I'm gonna have to say sharpshooter probably. I mean, sharpshooter's probably it. If Ric Flair ever won with the figure four, I love the figure four, but he never won with it. But unless like what Jericho in that one SummerSlam match he won with it, like that's it that I can remember. I mean, there's older stuff he obviously won with it.
Yeah.
But, I'd probably say like the sharpshooter's the best one, like submission wise, because it's just so timeless, and just the guy that did it was just so technical. And when I really put it on my brother, you can really freaking put it on somebody, So
I may have done that a time or two to a few people on this podcast.
I might answer it differently different days. So just probably any type of pile driver, probably sharpshooter, those kind of things. So I implement those things sometimes. So probably would be my choices. I might answer differently tomorrow. I don't know.
I'll ask you again tomorrow.
Okay, that's fine. If I have service.
So I'm going to ask a roll-off question from what Christopher just asked. If you could get rid of one of these finishers, which would it be? Would it be the leg drop or the Superman punch?
Oh, bro, get rid of the Superman punch. I hate it, man.
Yes. Yes. Okay.
You can't get rid of the Hulkster's move, dude. That's the greatest comeback of all time.
Yeah. Just the Superman punch. Just move out of the way. Just move. There he is. He's coming. Just move.
Yep. Well, and anybody that does a Superman punch, they got to hit 5. So what the fuck's the point,
Yeah. Yes. Okay, so
made my night.
I agree. Well, there's still one more question that could
one more big
that,
one, but we'll get there.
We haven't got there yet.
We'll get there.
Before we get to that, I want to know, and this is a thinker question, what would you tell your 10-year-old self if you had a chance to talk to him?
I don't know, man. Probably without being rated R, I would say. Ooh, that's a good question. Probably eat more vegetables and drink my milk where I could have been a little bit taller. Mainly that.
Is that all I had to do?
Yeah, I think. Well, my dad's 6'2", so I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. My dad has a joke, but I can't tell that on here. But
We'll get that off air.
yeah, so probably that. For real, the first thing that come to my mind when you said that is probably don't focus on one sport and don't not worry so much about is what you thought of what how do I word that? How cool everything is to other kids. Like, be into what you're into.
Yeah.
Instead of worrying about what all the other kids are into,
Yep.
But I think every kid goes through that too. Because I grew up around people. None of my friends watch wrestling, so I was kind of solo on that. So I would say just kind of be more yourself, and like I said, drink my milk, probably get taller. I'd have probably stretched more. I think that would have helped.
It's good to stretch.
Yeah.
Important.
What was it? Hang from the monkey bars? Isn't that what they said or something?
Yeah.
So, yeah, probably that. Probably just don't worry about all the other kids. But I think you can't tell kids that. Every kid goes through that too, So probably just
Definitely.
that stuff. But I still struggle with that now. I get mad if somebody don't like what I like or something. So I hadn't grown up.
That's a good answer.
Don't grow up.
No, you do.
Right.
Yeah. Anybody that's listening that hasn't graduated high school yet, don't grow up. It just sucks. You get old,
Stay there.
and then it's just terrible. But anyway.
And also, don't let your teachers tell you that this is the greatest years of your life either, because that's bullshit. Like, it might be great and it might be fun then, but it's up to you if your other years are going to be better. It ain't just because bills and all that suck. That doesn't mean it ain't going to be the greatest years of your life. So a lot of the kids, if any kids listen to this, your teachers don't know shit, honestly, if I'm being totally honest. So I will say that. But I just wanted to rant on that for a second. Sorry.
Agreed. I wholeheartedly agree with that statement.
Yeah. And tell them I said that. Come find me.
Well, we are at the final question. It is a hotly debated question amongst everyone around the world in our eyes. We are, as we said before, and we've said many times, we are not sponsored by this company yet. One day we hope to, just so that
Blue Chew?
just so that we can get free stuff.
Yeah.
Oreo cookies. Are you on Team Single Stuff, the original Oreo cookie, or Team Double Stuff?
Neither. They both fucking suck. I don't eat Oreos. So I don't know who wins that bet, but I don't eat Oreos, man. So I used to just eat the icing off back in the day. Now I don't even do that. So I don't eat Oreos. Sorry.
Do you have a?
I feel like I get hit by a truck.
Do you have a go-to sweet snack?
Yeah, I don't have a big sweet tooth. What would you say it is? What's my sweet tooth? I love bread and stuff. I'm not a big sweet tooth guy, but I love bread.
I could go with that. Bread. Yeah, bread.
Yeah, I know that's sugary, but like, I don't have a big sweet tooth. I'll eat like a strawberry Pop-Tart. I love that.
Okay. With the icing or no icing? The ice?
Yeah.
The ice. Okay.
I'm not a communist. I don't.
Yes. Good answer.
I agreed.
But yeah, I don't have any candy at the house. Like, if somebody hands me something or whatever, like, I might eat it, but not a big chocolate guy and not a big sweet tooth. And that's just not because of I'm a health nut. I eat a lot of garbage, but I love bread. That's my main like thing that I need to stay away from. But that's probably my sweet tooth. But I don't eat Oreos, so sorry. I don't know what's the general consensus on that. Like,
Oh,
Very
man,
split.
It's
Very split.
It's 50-50. You know.
Yeah.
I seen that question that y'all sent me, and I was like, no, I don't. Yeah, I'm gonna mess them up on that one.
It's all right.
I could.
We've had other mess ups too.
Oh,
We've
yeah.
had Rainbow Chips Ahoy was one
Yep.
of the answers once.
Yep.
There's been many different answers, and there's only one right answer, but you're free to make
Is
any
it
answer
double
you
stuff?
want. Oh yeah, it's double stuff.
Oh yeah. But I could totally get down with the whole bread thing. So
Yeah.
Yeah, heck yeah.
a story that literally happened today. I work from home and I'm doing my work right here, sitting here, and my daughter comes downstairs. She's got tears in her eyes. I'm like, "What's wrong? Why are you crying?" She holds up a loaf of Italian bread, and we're talking the good Italian bread.
Yeah.
And she just hands it to me. I take a look at it, and it's got mold on it.
Oh,
And
no,
she
that'll
was-
ruin a whole day.
She
R.I.P.
was so distraught that she didn't have the bread from the loaf,
Oh yeah.
and it ruined her day.
Well, yeah, because she thought about that sandwich she was going to make and how good it was going to be, or and then the bread's messed up and that ruins the whole night. So,
Yep.
Oh yeah, I've had those days, man.
Yep.
Or not have sandwich meat or something like that. So that'll ruin a day for sure.
Agreed. Yeah.
I could eat bread by itself.
Well,
For sure.
that too.
Rolls, any roll like Logan's Rolls or Texas Roadhouse.
Oh,
Yeah, any garlic bread. That's my thing. So I have to try to contain myself.
Garlic bread for us fatties out
Mhm.
there. Walmart has their own
Yeah.
great value garlic bread sticks,
Mhm.
and they
Yeah.
are phenomenal.
Yeah.
They are phenomenal.
My mom used to buy those. So yeah.
we
For
are
sure,
also not sponsored by Walmart.
No,
Yeah.
No, that'd be nice if y'all can get that plug though.
right?
We're working on it, Adam. We're trying.
We're trying.
Like I said, get that Blue Chew, and then you want everything will be solved.
All right, Blue Chew. Blue Chew, you hear that? We're ready.
Yeah. Yeah, if they hear this, that's what every wrestling podcast has is Blue Chew in it. So, or any sports one too. So
We have 0 sponsors, but that's okay. We're not here for the sponsors.
We're here to
for you.
sponsor. Yeah, we're here for you
we're-
guys.
We're here to support independent wrestling because we enjoy it so much. So, Adam, thank you, because tonight has been a blast. Thank you for being patient with us. Thank you for finding time to drive up the road and talk to us for a while. Where can the people go find you? Where can the people go support you out there in the social media world?
yeah, everybody knows I suck at Twitter and Instagram. I'm getting a little bit better. My
He's
most
honest,
famous
people. He's honest.
Yeah. My most famous tweet was the Rick Rude tweet I had the other night, and that got a pretty good pop from everybody. But it's just Adam_Priest on everything. On Instagram and Twitter, that's mainly what I'm on. I stay off Facebook because that's just old, cranky white people. So I just try to stay off it mostly. But just Adam_Priest on everything. Don't expect a whole lot, but you can find all the shows I'm on. Anything I need to get out there, I'll post, and I might have a good little banger here every once in a while. But that's about it.
Nice.
There it is. Go check him out. Go follow Adam. Go tweet at him. I'm sure he'll have one good saying in there every once in a while.
I'll
But-
get all those up in the credits at the end so everybody can go follow you.
Yeah,
And
I appreciate it.
And send him bread. If you
Yes.
want to send Adam anything, send him bread.
No,
he's
I,
like, no.
my waistline already looks like shit. I gotta get on my abs.
Oh, give
I don't
me a
need no more
break,
bread.
dude. Come on. All right, send me the bread. I'll take it.
Right. That's
Send
right.
me Adam's bread. I'll send you the message later. Well,
Well, man, I'll see you tomorrow night, right?
yep, we'll be there tomorrow night. Everyone, we'll be right back to sign off. Adam, thank you again. Hold tight. We're just going to talk to you for a second off air. Everybody, say bye to Adam, and thank you so much for joining. And we'll be back in a second.
Thanks for having me on.
You can find Adam Priest on Twitter and Instagram. Just search for @Adam_Priest_. And don't forget, Friday the 13th premieres on IWTV. on Thursday, November 19th at 8 p.m. Follow that up on Friday with round 2 of Friday Night Fights, which premieres on Friday, November 20th, also at 8 p.m. only on iwtv.live. Visit iwtv.live today to watch these great action wrestling events, plus numerous other archive shows from Action and other great independent promotions. Use code ACTION for a free 5-day trial. Don't miss out. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at The Bald Monkeys. Watch us live on our new Twitch channel, twitch.tv/TheBaldMonkeys.